talk a little bit about why life is a stage and we are its actors. Now, let there be no mistake, I am borrowing this from Shakespeare. Now, my meaning as well may be a little bit different, so I'd like to share that with you and how this particular belief has strongly influenced my life philosophy. In short, I frequently encounter, let's say, resistance to conscious awareness of one's emotions. Now, put like that, you may or may not think that many people would feel that way. You may not feel that you're amongst them, even. You might imagine that conscious awareness of one's emotions is surely a decent thing to do. Well, why is it that you're like that? How exactly did you come to understand that point so quickly? Right? Now, I might put it another way, which might elicit a different response. Some people believe that it is manipulative to seek to affect particular emotional outcomes for other people. Maybe to seek to affect outcomes at all is manipulative. Got my Illuminati eyes there. And to which I respond, the damage caused by not being consciously aware of your effects on other people is far more severe. And I would say more blame is to be had for those who are not aware of the influence that they already have. Now, quite naturally, it is human nature to desire more influence. We could say that people want power. Another that kind of thing, right? People want power. People want influence. They want continuity of their lives after death. That's our basic evolutionary drive. People want to exist after death through their children, through their legacy. They want to keep living, and they can. Many people do. Many people live after death through a combination of children and legacy. This is natural. In fact, it is the basic procreative urge. It's the root of the basic procreative urge that drives forward life altogether. So if you were to believe that life is good, then you must trust in its procreative instinct. You must trust that basic psychological drive towards immortality. Now, how can we achieve immortality? Well, having kids isn't enough. It's not enough, because those kids may or may not be an imminent reflection of everything that you are, or maybe, worse yet, they are, and you don't like it. Why wait to have kids to carefully inspect your psychological profile and the influence that you're having? You influence people, potentially hundreds, every single day in the most trivial of circumstances, and yet you may not pay much more mind to it than looking both ways across the street. You may abide in the polite formalities that are a culture and accustomed to the people of our society, but you may not realize the incredible impact that you do have and that you could have in a positive way on the people that you meet every day. So, without further ado, I do believe that life is a stage and that our own emotions are necessarily subjugated to the betterment of ourselves, of other people, and society itself. That our emotions are simply a tool to be controlled, to cause a better reality, to nurture other people, and in turn to cultivate our influence, our positive influence, the kind of influence that people desire to be in their lives, the kind of influence that people are magnetically drawn to. That is the kind of influence that most of us desire, because it's self-propagating. Back to this procreative bit. I do rather love talking about the procreative bits. The nature of procreation, the foundation for the emotional basis, is in love itself. It is in a positive drive. It is the carrot part of the carrot and stick. And it is that positive drive that is self-propagating. The negative drive is self-defeating. So therefore, if we seek legacy, if we seek influence throughout the future, if we seek true immortality, we must necessarily generate that loving, positive, affective feeling that is necessarily contagious to drive forward not only our own goals, but the memory of ourselves, the impressions that we leave throughout the world every day. So, in short, should I view life instead? Let's imagine the alternate scenario. The world is not a stage, but is instead a canvas by which I paint my unique expressions I express my true authenticity, which are a series of whimsical, mercurial emotions that just happen upon me every now and again, and passerbys look aghast, or perhaps in ecstasy. But yet again, they are the tyranny of my individual expression, my emotions. Now, I would say that yes, life is a canvas, and in fact, you do express yourself. But what self are you expressing? Within each of us, there are dark, unfathomable places. They're much too often beheld by the modern surveyors of our society. If I were to say, well, if we can overcome, if we can take from our trauma and our past and transmute some bright, beautiful canvas, a perfect picture of what it is to be fully human, to be a positive influence on the people around us, then let's do it. We must express ourselves. And in fact, I think this is exactly what happens when one becomes the actor on the stage. That one looks to themselves, looks to their past, and looks to their present, and decides a future, one that they know is necessarily positive. They assign the valence, and they create that image. They create that exact visage that they hold in their mind. In the absence of this, the haphazard nature of human emotion is destined to have various cudgels, impacts, and craters left in its wake. And those are real human people that we affect. So I implore you, I encourage you to seek out the stage, to become the actor, and to understand yourself as the implementation, the tool, and the higher purpose of serving yourself in such a manner that people will love you, cherish you, and look to you for ages to come. So long, I'm Jeremy.